How's everyone on this holy day? Praise Allah for today's Friday holy day. Islam Moors? It's another day to help us, learn to love instead of hate. Islam? Praise Allah. Islam, more bodies. Praise Allah. Moors, today is a day where we as Moorish Americans have something to smile about. And not because it's anything special happened, but because Allah sent us a prophet to remind us that Friday is our holy day. Islam? Prophet Noble Drew Ali, down to our Moorish American ancestors, have a demonstration where they go over and they say that had the Moors continued to honor Friday holy day, we would have never saw slavery. Islam? And the reason why that is because if you remember Friday holy day, you go on the higher teachings of what was brought to us by not just the prophet that came to us, but all the great prophets. Because all the prophets that came, even before Prophet Noble Drew Ali, truly only came with one message. Islam, Moors? And that message is that there is no God but Allah. Islam? All right? And when you understand that there is no God but Allah, you understand that man can't make you. Islam? See, man can't be Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian because man his power don't extend that far. Islam? Why in our Quran questions for Moorish Americans, which is this document right here, returned to us by a prophet, which is our catechism that explains our holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Key 1 states what? Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where is the nearest place we can meet him?
In the heart.
Islam, but one of the first things the prophet had to teach you was who made you, right? Because we thought the Europeans made us, right?
Islam.
And we clearly thought that because of what we call ourselves, right? And you might say, well, it's just a name, right? But what is in a name? Yeah, I'm plugging the book we just put out. What is in a name? Islam? But at the same time, it's what is in a name? What is in a name is everything that a nation contains, right? If a person wants to ask you your nationality, all they gotta do is ask you your name, right? And they can either tell that you're free or they tell that you haven't recovered from the trauma of slavery that your forefathers went through. Islam? If you are, looking like one of the descendants of the mighty Moors, right? And that phenotype can span from light olive, we say light skin, right? All the way down to dark olive or dark skin with wavy to woolly hair, right? All those variations are ones that descend from the ancient Moors, right? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali said the Moors were the first people. All the other people were adopted into our tribes. Islam? All right? And we have to remember that as Moorish American, the descendants of the ancient Moors, the ancient Moors were a conglomeration of tribes, right? And it was indeed a hybrid culture. So you'd see a multiplicity, all right, of customs and traditions of people that call themselves Moorish. Islam? What the Prophet teaches us, he said, custom alters not the nature of truth. Islam? Now, something I've been teaching for years, but now I'm seeing that it's starting to manifest is the fact that, and again, all praise is due to Allah, the fact that don't shoot yourself in the foot by looking at your local temple and saying, it's not bursting at the seams, we're not really doing much. No, that's called shooting yourself in the foot. See, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali gives you holy instructions that you have to follow, right? And what happens is, if you are consistent with those works, the nations of the earth will begin to take notice. Islam? All you have to do is talk to, various different Moorish Americans, card-carrying Moorish Americans, members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and they'll confide in you and let you know that we've been getting various different messages from members that are subjects of the Kingdom of Morocco. All right. Now, we're not using that as some type of "we have arrived" statement or aha moment, right? But what we're saying is it's a prophecy coming true because the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, and I just read it to you in our divine constitution. He says that, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. Islam? So once you proclaim your free national name, now, what is your free national name? Moorish Americans? Free national name is American. Islam? All right, because that's the name under which your citizenship is derived, right? Once you answer up to the citizenship or the national constitution, now you can qualify for all other international agreements, right? But if you're not a citizen, that doesn't apply to you, right? You'll have ones that want to invoke treaties, right? Oh, well, the treaty of such and such says this, and that applies to me. Well, the first question is, are you a citizen? If you're not a citizen, then Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution, which says that, treaties are the highest law of the land, that don't apply to you. So you got to be a citizen first, right? And that's why if you look at any pictures, any of the convention pictures from 1928, when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali first set up our first annual convention, you'll notice the main flag that was hoisted was this flag here, right? You'll see Moorish flags, throughout the crowd or throughout the audience, right? But the main flag that you saw was this one, because the statement that he was making to the world, it was that I am a citizen of the USA. Islam, Moors? Because without that, you have no national or international protections. Islam, Moors? All right? So with that, I just want to demonstrate the first page of our Quran. Right? Brother Ralph, you get the brother Quran more? Gratitude, bro. We won't read this together, Islam.
Front page?
Yeah, first page, be page 3 in your Quran. But my brother, when you get it, it'll be the first page. Well, the first page that says, know thyself and thy Father God Allah at the top. I think yeah, he got you. Islam, brother Akil. Happy holy day, more. Praise Allah. All right? And to demonstrate the front of our Quran is the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali by the guiding of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
Now, it says, know thyself and thy Father God Allah, right? It says the genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of the events, life works, and teachings in India, Africa, and Europe. These events occurred before he was 30 years of age. These secret lessons are for all those who love Jesus and desire to know about his life works and teachings. Dear readers, do not falsely use these lessons. They are for good, peace, and happiness for all those that love Jesus. Dear mothers, teach these lessons to your little ones that they may learn to love instead of hate. Dear fathers, by these lessons you can set your house in order and your children will learn to love instead of hate. The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity. As I am a prophet and the servant is worthy of his hire, you can receive this pamphlet at expense. The reason why these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secret lessons and kept them back from the outside world. And with the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed the secrets. And for the first time in ages, have these secrets been delivered in the hands of the Muslims of America. All authority and rights of publishing of this pamphlet of 1927 by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. The industrial acts of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In latter years, they formed for themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc. Islam, Moors? I'm just going to stop there, Moors, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit certain key points, and then I'll yield the floor to our first speaker, right? What I want to hit is the prophet says, opens it up with, know thyself and thy Father God Allah. Islam? Now, in the doorways of all the ancient temples of the ancient world, over the doorway was written the phrase, know thyself, right? In your Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, once you get to reading it, you'll find a phrase in there which is Sultan Gnathi, which means know thyself. The word Gnathi, which is G-N-O-T-H-I, comes from the word gnosis, G-N-O-S-I-S, pardon self, right? And gnosis means knowledge. Right? Now, it opens up, it says, know thyself and thy Father God Allah, right? Now, if you truly know yourself, you're studying, you're mastering yourself, the God that you seek is within. The kingdom that you seek is within. See, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't bring us a spook heaven, right? He didn't bring us a spook hell, right? He said, Allah didn't create a heaven or hell for man. He said, we are creators and make our own. Islam, right? That's something that wasn't really squared up, by previous prophets, because it wasn't their message to teach that, right? So in previous prophets taught that Allah, give me certain teachings, Allah is the light of the heavens of the earth, right? So notice that it says Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Or it says, in Arabic, they'll say Allah fi samawati, which means Allah is in the heavens, right? By saying Allah is in the heavens, creates a negation. That means that Allah is not in the earth. Islam Moors? All right? But the reality of it is, if Allah wasn't in the earth, could the earth exist? Islam? Show me something outside of Allah. Islam? See, Prophet Noble Drew Ali teaches us that Allah is Aught. A-U-G-H-T. And what does Aught mean? Aught means what, Moors? All. What is outside of all? Islam? Can you limit or circumscribe all? No. Can you draw a circle around all? No. Why? On your circle 7, the emblem that's on the front of our Quran, right? That circle has 4 gates around it. Broken, meaning that you can bring knowledge from the east. You can bring knowledge from the west, from the north or the south. There's no limitations placed on that circle, right? Now, if I close that circle, that is what's known as the master circle. Because only if I turn my back and drew a circle, only I know where it began or ended, right? And it closes it off so nothing else can get in, right? But see, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali opened it up so we could study the teachings of Buddha if we wanted to. We could study the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, if we wanted to. We could study the teachings of Jesus if we wanted to. Islam Moors? And we could study the teachings of Drew Ali, who is a true and divine prophet. Islam? All right? But notice it opens up and says the genealogy of Jesus. Right? What does genealogy mean, Moors? Anybody? A genealogy is what? Keep it simple, Moors. Stop thinking deep. Family, good. What else? Lineage, great. Bloodline. Islam. That's what I was thinking. But y'all, we all, family, lineage, blood, the same thing. All right? Now, you're dealing with why is the prophet talking about the genealogy of Jesus, and why is that important to us? See, Moors, you ever wonder why you're so hated all over the earth? Why is there a concentrated focus on your destruction? Islam Moors? You ever notice that you are a unique people on the earth? There's certain things that only you have and only you do. Islam? All right? So we have this woolly hair, right? Name another people outside of people of the descendants of Africa that have woolly hair. Right? Now, symbolically, what animal on earth has woolly hair? The sheep, right? Or the lamb, right? Walk with me, Moors. Go to chapter 46. Let me hear Islam when you're there. Chapter 46 is XLVI. It's 46 in Roman numerals, right? Starting at 46, starting at instruction 5. It's the second to last chapter, Mo. Starting at instruction 5, it says, again, 46:5, the holy teaching of Jesus was to the common people, to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor, also that the lion and the lamb may lay down together and neither would be harmed when the morning came. See, who's receiving the harm in the earth today? The people with the woolly hair, right? Right? Who's symbolic of what? The lamb, right? Who's under the great pressure, right? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali is telling you what's happening. He's prophesying about it. He says, these teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the 10 Commandments. Through the 10 Commandments, the rulers and the rich live while the poor suffer and die. See, Moors, this has been going on for a long time. Islam, the Roman nations have been occupying our lands for over 2,000 years, right? And everywhere where they occupied our land, the poor suffered and died. Islam Moors? So it says, now here's the degree. We're talking about the lamb, talking about you, right? He says the lamb is the poor people. Let me stop there, right? I'm going to ask you to raise your thoughts, right? Because having the carnal mind that we have, right, as Asiatic people, right, we hear poor, we think of finance. Islam? No. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Islam Moors? See, we think very poor of ourselves. Islam, right? Spiritually, on a Sufi level, right? The Sufis use what the Sufis are the mystics of Islam, right? The word Sufi, ironically, means wool or woolly. So who were the original Sufis naturally? You are Moors. Islam? The Sufis use the term which is fakir. Everyone, fakir. Fakir means poor. But what does it mean? When a baby's born into the world, is the baby born with any wealth? What I mean by that is any babies coming out of are any babies coming out of the womb holding $100 bills? No. Now their family might have money, but that baby, they don't have clothes. It don't have food. Islam was? It don't have shelter if the parents don't have it. Islam? That baby is born poor. All it has is what Allah gave it, right? So it has the breath of life. Islam? It has that involuntary reaction to know that when it's hungry, to lean to the mother's breast. You ever seen a woman holding a baby, right? Right? And if it's the baby, if it's her baby, when the baby's hungry, it'll start nudging its head to the breast. How does it know to do that? Islam? You in here right now, you're breathing, right? I hope so, because you're sitting upright, right? You're breathing, but are you thinking about your breathing process? No, that's something Allah gives you, right? So that's part of the birthright that Allah gives you. But aside from that, all you have, the only wealth you have is what Allah gives you. Everything else can be taken away. Islam Moors? So now, it says, the lamb is the poor people. The lion is the rulers and the rich. Now, in that sense, these are the ones that, who are born into the earth, right? Where they're born to a certain level of aristocracy, we could say. Like in this country here, certain family names mean something, right? How many people heard of the Senator John Kerry? Have heard of him? Right? John Kerry's wife is Teresa Heinz Kerry. Her last name Heinz, Heinz ketchup. Her family owns that. So how rich is she to own ketchup? Islam? So, what did she have to be born worried about, right? And we're not bashing the rich. To be rich and wealthy is a beautiful thing, Islam. But if you demonstrate it in the capacity of a predator, right, which is what a lion is, Islam was, a lion is a regal creature, true indeed, but it's a predator, right? Its natural inclination is not to protect the weak. It's to destroy the weak. Islam? How many people knew that with a lion, right, when a lion comes in and let's say takes over a pride, which is the pride is the lionesses and the cubs, right? Let's say he defeats another lion and kills him and takes over the pride. What does he do with the cubs that are not his? Kill them all off. That's the nature of the lion, right? Because he say, they're not my bloodline. Islam? That's the lion. So when the prophet says the lion is the rulers and the rich, these are the ones that say, they're not my bloodline, kill them. Islam was? Y'all don't hear me. It says, and through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, Moors. This is what you're looking at right here, Moors. Islam, see that 5-pointed star? What color is the star? Green. What does green represent in symbology? Life. What else? Love. What else? Vitality. Islam? How many people study ancient Egypt? Y'all study a little bit about that? Yeah. What color is Osiris or Osar depicted as? Green, right? Because he's the resurrected one, representing life. Islam? All right? So move forward, it says, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own vine and fig tree. Now, in terms of parts of speech, in English, what is and called? Parts of speech, meaning, is it a verb? Is it noun? Is it adverb? What kind of term is it? Conjunction, right? Meaning it's conjunctive. Meaning that when something conjunctive, meaning it's part of, it links with the previous statement. All right? So to say that all men are one, and men, that's inclusive of women, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny, the following statement is a part of it, and to worship under their own vine and fig tree. So in order to seek your own destiny, or to be equal, one and equal to seek your own destiny, you have to worship under your own vine and fig tree. See, you can't worship under somebody else's gods, right? Talking about you demonstrating your own destiny. And what is a god? I'm talking about ideals, right? I'm not talking about some spook mist that you're praying to, right? Even though we pray, when we turned and did that Moorish American prayer, we had our eyes open, meaning that we were focused on where we're at, right? We're talking about the Allah within. Islam Moors? It also says, after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. Islam Moors, you have to honor the creed and principles of your forefathers in order to not suffer slavery. Islam Moors? See, the Europeans are very mad at y'all right now. You know that? Because the shift is happening in the earth. right? And what does that shift entail? No more Confederate statues, y'all. Islam? No more teams called Redskins and Kansas City Chiefs. Islam was? And you know, a lot of these teams, right, when they first started, like in the 20s and 30s, especially like the Kansas City Chiefs, their mascot, they had a little Asiatic boy with woolly hair talking about Kansas City Chief. Islam was? Atlanta Braves and so on and so forth. They had people that looked like you to represent that principle of what it was to be Native American. Islam was? No more chops at the games talking about you. No more of that. Islam was? NASCAR, which is considered the Southerners' sport. National pastime, like America's national pastime is baseball. NASCAR to the Southerners is it. Islam? No more Confederate flags at NASCAR, not even on the cars and anything. We'll find you with it, we're finding you. Islam was? See, the universe is shifting in your favor. Now, you could say, and ones are saying this, right, that those things and those concessions are indeed symbolic, right, but they're not tangible. And that's true, right? But see, Noble Drew Ali was a master of symbolism, right? Because through symbolic right? See, men come through Allah by what they see. And the next thing is, and do. By you seeing that these things are being taken down, your subconscious mind saying, oh, it's getting ready, it's my time again. Islam? But you got to know where to go. And see, the problem is with them taking down the Confederate statues, see, those Confederate statues were known as landmarks. What is a landmark? See, these 10 wonders of the world, these 10 emblems that we have on our charter, these 10 emblems are known as landmarks. When the Prophet gave us our charter, we're able, this actually tells a story, right? That we in the third heaven, we're taught a story about that, right? And as you grow and evolve in the more science of America, what this tells is mind-blowing. So even if we took the words off the charter, we can still guide you because the symbols tell the story. It's through the symbols that we trace ourselves back. See, Moors, this is a symbol. Islam? Anybody ever been to a baseball game? Yeah. Right? You ever seen when the national anthem is sung, right? And you scan the crowd. When they singing it, you ain't trying to be patriotic. You like, yeah, whatever, right? But you ever look at some Europeans, Moors? When this is hoisted and they play that song, right? And some of them, and how they standing, Moors, right? Right? And you can look at some of them, and they get those tears in the eyes, Moors, right? Islam? See, there's a sense of patriotism they have because this worked in their favor for a long time. And some of their forefathers fought and died to protect this. Islam? Now, let me show you something about symbolism. How many of our forefathers fought and died to protect this? So why is it that you don't feel connected to it? Right? How many of our forefathers helped to build the governmental buildings that you have here in America? Who built the White House? Twice. You know they burnt it down once, right? The British did that in the 1800s, right? Built it the first time. Who rebuilt it? Who built it the first time and who rebuilt it? The Moors, right? Who they called slaves. You right, more about it, you want it? Islam? Who built the Capitol building, U.S. Capitol building? The Moors. See, Moors, when I open up, I'm not being radical and agitated when I open up in my honors and I say the European nations owe you with compound interest. Because see, in Islam, interest is forbidden. It's called riba in Arabic, right? So when I say they owe you in compound interest, that's symbolic, right? Meaning that what's owed to you can't be paid back. How they gonna give you a check to equal what was done to your forefathers? They can't. It's no strange happening that these are called stripes. How many forefathers had stripes on their back? Right? You still got stripes on your spirit. That's why you're scared to stand up and accept your own and be yourself. And I understand it. Islam was? All right? But guess what? It's our time. And whether you like it or not, and whether you go kicking and dragging and screaming, you're going to come back home and be yourself and take your rightful place in this country. Islam was? All right? All right? I got a couple points I'm going to hit, then I'm going to yield the floor. All right? It says, again, back on the first page, know thyself and the Father God Allah. It says, these events, pardon self, first sentence, genealogy of Jesus was 18 years of the events, life, works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali never wasted words. Islam? So when the Prophet says, every word I speak is spirit, that means when he gives you a word or some words, you got to do some studying. Right? What is our religion? Islamism. Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
Now, if you were to look up Islamism in a dictionary, what kind of definitions would you get? Anybody ever looked it up? So y'all here at Temple 19, y'all have no excuse. We got a book called Islamism. But we delve deep inside to break the topic all the way apart. Islam? Now, if you look up or you Google Islamism, paraphrasing wise, it'll tell you that it is a system that deals with the political, economic, and social conditions of a people, right? Meaning that certain ones around the earth took Islam and not just used it for salat, prayer, charity, right? Hajj, which is pilgrimage to holy sites and all that type of stuff. They didn't just use it for that. They used that to organize themselves, right, as a voting bloc, as a constituency to take their place in the affairs of men. Islam, right? So the reality of it, Islam, the reality of it is, when it says the life works and teaches in India, Europe, and Africa, if you do research on India, you'll find out that they took Islam, all right, and used Islam as a political system, right? If you go throughout Africa, if you go to Egypt specifically, in chapter 47, it's titled Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. So Egypt, again, is given as a symbolism to show you that you have a connection there as Moorish American Muslims. Islam. And on your charter, you have the 3 pyramids of Giza, and you have the Sphinx. You have 2 emblems representing ancient Egypt, or what y'all call Kemet. Islam. In Egypt, they had a degree called Islamism, right? And they had ones named Sayyid Qutb, right? Or Sheikh Hassan al-Banna, right? Or Muhammad Abdul. These are various different ones that took Islamism and formed, what they called pan-Arab nationalism. Islam, meaning that they took the ancient teachings of Islam and they were able to organize their pedigree of people called the Arabs. In India, they did the same thing. They had a pan-Indian nationalism, right? Meaning that in India, before it was united as one country, there's like 300 different ethnicities in India. Islam Moors? So when they're in India, they call each other by the ethnicity that they are. They don't necessarily say I'm Indian. They call themselves Indian when they leave the country, so they won't be mistaken as nothing else, right? Same thing in China. They're like 200-300 different ethnicities, right? So where do we get this thing of that because we're different clans and tribes, and this nation of Islam over here, he nation of gods on earth, and he's, whatever, Nawabian over here, right? That we all can't be Moors, right? All those are different clans and tribes. Islam, but what's your nationality? What is nationality? The quality or character that arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or a state. Islam Moors. And citizenship comes out of that because when you belong to a nation or state, you become a member, right? And citizenship is being a member of a particular thing. You can't answer up to the Constitution of said government unless you're a member of it. The Moorish Temple of America, you can't help shape policy if you're not no member. If you're not, in good standing and paying your dues, you can't help shape no policy pursuant to Act 1 of the Divine Constitution and bylaws. Why? Because you don't have a vested interest. Islam. So you mean to tell me you're in America, but you don't pay taxes, you're against the government, you're anti this and that or whatever, but you want to say what they need to do. That's spook God worship. That's idol God worship. Because who's the they that you're talking about? I thought it said we the people. Islam Moors, we the people means that you're a part and a partial of the said government. Partial, pursuant to Act 6, P-A-R-T-I-A-L, means to be held as special within something, right? And when something's a member, isn't a member of your family held as special more so than an outsider? Or do you prefer outsiders before your own blood? Of course not. The Prophet said, prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. Islam Moors? Now, if you're a citizen of a particular thing, we here, whether you like it or not, Moors, we're all Americans. I'm guilty of this right here, and I'm gonna own it, right? I own a barbershop, just barbershop during the day, right? I made a lot of money today and yesterday. All praise due to Allah who Ar-Razaku, meaning Allah the provider, right? Praise Allah. And I'm gonna give some charity tonight to the Moorish Temple of America. I'm not gonna hoard it to myself for self. Islam. So Secretary, here's my donation right here when the basket go around. All right? So why did I make a lot of money today and yesterday as opposed to any other day? Right? Because it's 4th of July weekend. That's not our Independence Day. That's the Independence Day of the European nations. Now, how did they acquire their independence? Yes, our forefathers did help them to do that. We fought wars. Who was the first one to die in the American Revolution? Say it more. Islam, more proclaim it. That's your forefather. There's a Moor. Islam from Boston. From Boston. He wasn't no slave drag from nowhere else. That Moor was from Boston. Islam. Here's another thing that many of you might not know. I'm from up north. One thing I found being from north, from New Jersey, I thought growing up that all people that were in the north were from the south. Not true. My wife's, half of her family was born and raised generations in the north. They never lived in the south. Islam, part of our family is Native American. Islam, that side of the family traced their family back to the reservation. Islam Moors, they were from up there. So that's another misnomer that we're fed, right? But the reality of it is, like it or not, you're American. You've been American, and America is not new.
Islam.
The European sons didn't start the word America. And don't give me that mess about Americo Vespucci. He was a Roman. They say Italian, right? We're going to ask the sons of Italy. Y'all know about the sons of Italy?
Islam.
See, just like you have the Moorish science temple of America, the Italian Americans have what they call the sons of Italy. And the sons of Italy, you can Google it. Please, I don't want you to believe me. Islam Moor, I don't want it's not that kind of setup. I want you to research me. And in fact, I'd like you to prove me wrong. Because if you prove me wrong, I'll be able to sit down where you're at and take a break for a change. Islam. Now, when you research the sons of Italy, you'll find out that this is a group whose job is to research, right, and preserve Italian heritage while simultaneously teaching these ones to be American citizens. What is the mission statement of the Moorish Science Temple of America? To uplift fallen humanity and teach those things necessary. I told y'all, every time you see the word necessary, it's a master's word, pay attention. Necessary to do what? Make our people what? Better citizens. So where do we get this I'm not a citizen from? Right? Islam. Now this is my last statement. I'm going to yield before. I know I said that about 5 times. Right? I mentioned this during Sunday school. More, if y'all want to attend Sunday school, you're missing out. Movements have been hijacked from the beginning of time. Islam Moors, I'm going to give you a degree. Let me just say this real quick. If you didn't have the laws that y'all call the Europeans' laws, which are not his laws, right? But if you didn't have the Constitution, statutes, ordinances, so on and so forth, what would you look to for guidance? See, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, the true and divine records of the human race. What are the true and divine records of the human race? The Holy Quran and the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Quran of Mecca, Islam, the Injil, which they call the Book of Revelations, the Torah, Islam Moors. These are law books. Because you don't understand it, you look at them as religious books. But religion is law and law is government. Islam Moors? So now, if you were to look back in these texts, right, and say, okay, if this whole system burnt up out here, right, and Allah forbid, right, I don't want that. And if you want that, purge that out of your system, right? Because if you think, example, everybody's mad at the police right now? Imagine if the police totally pulled out of every quote-unquote hood in America. Are we ready? Be honest. Are we ready to govern ourselves? What would happen overnight? Right? Now think about all the firearms that were just purchased. Think about all the firearms. Who are we going to use them on? Because when you don't know yourself, you ain't going to kill no foreigners. You're going to kill each other. You're going to kill something that look like you. Why? Because you hate yourself. Right? And if I hate myself, I hate you because you look like me. Islam Moors? All right? So